Welcome to Raff Talks, the podcast where we discuss interesting defense topics each month. This is episode 15. Picture the floor of SAHA Expo 2026 in Istanbul.
Right, just packed with next-generation attack drones and, laser targeting systems.
Exactly, yeah, cutting-edge aerospace software everywhere. But right in the middle of all that modern tactical gear, there's this perfectly preserved, mathematically precise reconstruction of a 1915 trench.
Yeah, it was wild to see.
So today's deep dive is looking at exactly that, like Raff Military Textile, a brand with, over 80 years of global defense gear expertise. They decided to just bypass the sci-fi tech displays and showcase the First World War 57th Regiment, 2nd Infantry Battalion.
Right, and what really stands out about this historical uniforms project is the motivation behind it. Because, this wasn't commissioned by a client.
Or designed for a movie set or something?
Exactly. It was driven strictly by this commitment to preserving military heritage with, absolute uncompromising academic precision.
Wait, I have to push back on that, though. Academic precision when we're talking about a century ago, surely after over 100 years, original fabric samples have, degraded or faded.
Oh, absolutely, they have.
So how do you even know what the exact color was in 1915, let alone recreate it for a trade show?
Well, that was the central challenge, right? You don't just look at a black and white photo and buy modern canvas. Modern fabrics use these synthetic chemical dyes that fade in a very uniform way.
Right.
But in 1915, the Ottoman military relied on natural root-based dyes. So the material lab spent months, literally months, analyzing archival fragments.
Wow.
Yeah, just to figure out exactly which roots were boiled down to achieve that specific, slightly irregular khaki color.
That is true dedication.
It really is. And they even had the textiles hand-woven on traditional looms in Gaziantep. So the thread count and texture matched the era perfectly for both privates and non-commissioned officers.
Okay, so they spent months just getting the weave and the dye right on the trousers and tunics. But is that where the project stopped?
Not even close. They built out the entire Phantom Soldier. They recreated the envrai.
The envrai?
Yeah, that distinctive conical cloth headgear issued by the Ottoman War Minister Enver Pasha. And they recreated the Esakiri Shahan, which were the standard issue Imperial Army belts.
Oh, wow, the belts, too.
They even brought in these exact reproductions of the Russian-made Mosin Nagant rifles, the captured manual infantry rifles used at the time.
And they displayed these reproductions alongside actual original relics, right?
Yeah.
I think there were boots and canteens pulled directly from 1915 archives.
Yes, exactly.
So it wasn't just a costume display. It was like taking a 3D snapshot of a historical ledger. Every single thread was a data point.
Precisely. And that uncompromising physical realism, it fundamentally changed the atmosphere of the exhibition space. It wasn't just a product booth anymore.
It was more like a museum exhibit.
Yeah, or a classroom. The academic weight was so substantial that an expert uniformologist actually held a live seminar right at the Raff booth for a university history club.
That's incredible. You'd think a century-old rifle wouldn't turn heads at an expo filled with aerospace tech. But that gravity of authenticity is exactly what stopped the heavy hitters in their tracks.
Definitely.
It brought serious institutional validation right to their floor space. We saw official visits from, the Minister and Deputy Minister of National Defense,
right,
the Vice President of the Presidency of Defense Industries, and even an international military delegation from Kenya.
Which really tells us something vital about the global defense industry.
What's that?
Well, yes, the industry is fundamentally forward-looking. But the response to this project confirms a deep institutional respect for its foundations. The modern tactical world honors the logistics, the gear, and the soldiers of the past.
That makes a lot of sense. And apparently, this is just chapter 1. Raff plans to expand this historical preservation project, bringing uniforms from other Turkish historical periods to life in the future.
Yeah, and I think this raises an important question for you, the listener, to mull over.
Oh,
we study history so often through pages, screens, and distant black and white photographs. But how does standing before the exact physical weight, texture, and color of a 1915 uniform change our emotional understanding of a soldier's experience compared to merely reading about it in a textbook?
That is a great point. It certainly grounds all that futuristic technology, reminding us of the human element beneath the tactical gear.
Exactly.
Well, we'd love for you to stay connected with us on LinkedIn to follow this conversation as it evolves, and be sure to visit the Raff Products page to discover their modern military equipment capabilities. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.